Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, where it's my brethren all across the world watching this video, we're going to talk Sergey Kovalev because Abel Sanchez, his former trainer, recently came out and he said that, the door is still open for him to come train with him at the Summit Gym. So, for those of you who don't know, uh, Abel Sanchez did train Kovalev for his first 8 fights, and then they clashed a lot, and then that's what eventually led Kovalev to leave the Summit Gym and hook up with John David Jackson, which is what made him the world champion that he ultimately became. So now, following the 2 losses to Andre Ward, John David Jackson is no longer in Kovalev's corner. He's no longer his trainer, and Abel is opening the door back up for Kovalev to come back to the Summit Gym in Big Bear. Here's what Abel said in regards to why he got rid of Kovalev back in 20. And these quotes that I'm reading you are from 2015. So here's what he said in regards to Kovalev back in 2015. He said, I quote, "As far as I'm concerned, I want to come to my gym and have a good time. If somebody's character is not what I think it should be, I have no desire to work with him. I called his manager and asked him to take him somewhere else. Before I did that, I spoke with Sergey and told him that he was going to be a world champion in a couple of fights. I told him that he was going to be a world champion because of what we had developed here, but he had to change his character and had to change his way of being because you can't do this game by yourself." Sanchez explained that Kovalev appeared to have the same do-it-yourself mindset in the rematch against Andre Ward. He then went on saying, and then Egas Klimas. Actually, no. Here's what. This is actually Abel still talking. So then he goes on by saying, "I've always felt that the kids who leave here or that I ask to leave here are like my children. It's almost like having an 18-year-old son who is now grown, got some cojones, and wants to do it by himself, and he goes out. That doesn't mean that I don't love him. That doesn't mean that I hate him. That doesn't mean that I don't want to see success for him. If he decides or Egas decides that, and they reach out to me, of course we'll talk. There is never a closed door because they are like my children." And then he goes on by saying Andre had a team around him. Unfortunately, Sergey believes that he can do it by himself. Sergey is a very good fighter, but he didn't get to show how good he is in that fight because he was in there by himself and didn't believe in the people around him. It's not John David's fault that he lost. It's a collaborative effort between all the team, and John David didn't have enough influence on Sergey to make him train in a certain way to beat Andre Ward. And that's what Abel said in regards to that. And I'll say it like this, man. Now it's kind of good now that we're almost in August now, and the fight's passed, time has passed. So I'm not as emotional about the fight as when it first happened. Obviously, I still have my opinions. I think that there was a lot of injustice done to Kovalev wrong in that fight, and I think Ward got away with some low blows. But if you go back and I actually remember this very well because shout out to my boy Sean. I stayed with my boy Sean in Las Vegas, so we talked about this fight day after day leading up to it. And we watched a lot of interviews leading up to the fight. And there were some things, man, like that did worry me about Kovalev. Like if you guys go back and you watch, I think it was if you go watch the episode of the Fight Game on HBO, right before Kovalev Ward 2, he did an interview with Jim Lampley where he talks about the fight, and he talks about how basically what Abel was saying, like he wants to go in there and do it himself and show that he can beat Andre Ward himself and all that stuff. And then, you saw what happened. So I can definitely see where Abel is coming from in that regard. But yeah, like it'd be cool to see Kovalev get with Abel. I think Abel could reinforce a lot of things that Kovalev maybe got away from, which I feel, if you look at the fighters Abel trains, he trains them to be very aggressive. And Kovalev does have boxing skill, but I feel like, especially in the second fight, he was a little too reluctant to pull. I don't want to say reluctant to pull the trigger. I feel like, with a guy like Abel, he gives his fighters a better sense of when to punch and when not to punch. Things of that nature. Look at a guy like Gennady. I know Gennady is a special talent, one of the most decorated amateurs of all time, but Gennady is one of those guys. Not saying John David's not a great trainer. I think the world of John David Jackson, but Abel could reinforce some things that maybe Kovalev was lacking in those fights. And if it's true, like, look, I've never been around Kovalev. I had one interaction with Kovalev. That was when I was in Vegas. It was right after the weigh-ins. I asked for an interview. He said no because he looked really pissed off and he just wanted to go back to his room. But I mean, I could see him, man, him being very stubborn in camp and that coming to bite him in the ass come fight night. It's very possible. So, maybe he does got to change. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe everything Andre Ward was saying was right about him. We just don't know. I don't know the guy. I'm not there with him. But interestingly enough, Abel Sanchez is still open to training Sergey Kovalev. So that's the news. The door is still open. Wouldn't mind seeing it. It could definitely be um, someone that helps him get back on track because now that he's not with John David, he's going to need to find someone. And Abel is definitely a good trainer. So that's what it is there. And a lot of people say he's uncoachable. We'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think, Andrea, about Abel Sanchez. Leaving the door open for Kovalev to train with him at the Summit Gym once again, as he did back in 2010, 2011, and 2012. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.